Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, let's call the meeting to order at 6. And we'll do roll call. Sage Alexander, we know is excused. Teresa. Rhonda. Danielle.
Online.
Saw is on there. Iris. Susan.
Here.
Eggers. Michelle.
Here.
Eve. Randy Long is supposed to be here. Not yet.
So hold on, but
Jennifer is on Zoom, we know. Jenny.
Here.
And Scott.
Here.
gang's almost here.
That's right. And then we have Angela. Susie is online. Eric Mason. There's Randy.
Think in the corner.
And Brett.
Here,
Go
go
there.
there.
Randy in the corner.
Oh, you can't speak that much. You're gonna be.
I'm gonna go in the middle there.
Just make sure that everybody grabbed one of each of the papers that are on the back table.
Sure.
Please, and thank you.
And then public invited to be heard. I don't see any public. It's nothing. And then are there any corrections to the minutes, the August 21st minutes? It's not, this is going to be fast.
No.
Does someone want to move to approve the August 21st, 2025 minutes as they are?
I move to approve.
As they are? That's great. And do we have a second?
I'll second.
There's plenty here.
And all in favor, say, raise your hand. Say.
Say 10. Say 10. Okay.
10. Okay. Nays?
No nays.
Abstentions?
Danielle, you want to abstain to approving minutes? Yes. Yes. Yes.
She has the baby, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Put it on the screen, she has
Aw, we might see the baby.
We can't.
Oh, we can't see the baby.
I don't think she can hear us.
She has the baby.
There we go.
Aw.
There she is. Oh, she's getting so big.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yay.
Go straight that back is.
Yeah.
Can you imagine sitting
Okay, so the motion
No.
passes.
Not
It
anymore.
does.
No.
And then are there additions or corrections to the agenda?
Yep, I'm gonna shake it up. So we're going to move, if you have an old agenda or printed it out from previous, we're moving number 8, Art Walk. I'm sorry, what was 10 is now 8, and then 8 moves to 9, 9 moves to 10, sorry.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Shock art. So it sounds like the contracts are all completed.
Yep.
4 of the boxes, 4 out of 7 are completed and sealed. Angel's going to talk about the new sealant.
Yeah, we're using a new sealant that hopefully is less dust gathering. What do you call it? Like they're electric, so they gather dust. But we're gonna give it a try. So the painter applied it. The application has gone really well. So let's see which ones are done. I don't know that I have good pictures of ones that are done. I'll just tell you. So the ones that are still left are Funny Farm and Maywinky, who is the kind of orange and black bird looking ones. So your butterflies and broncos are done, your black and white banjos are done. The one that is kind of stained glass looking one is done. Frog is done. Thank you for going and looking at that one.
Heron stuff.
And then Herons is done. And so then we just have the 2 outstanding. We do have Ann Wilson, who's at, what did I say, Pike End Corporate Center, that's done, but needs approved, so if someone.
You said it's not sealed yet, right?
Correct.
Where is it at?
It's over by Front Range.
South.
Is this,
Oh.
is the ceiling the one that is for graffiti too?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
different
it's,
from the front.
it's for
Okay.
graffiti, it's for UV, so it won't yellow, which we haven't had that problem. And then, I think since VOC regulations changed in, it's like 2020, all of a sudden, like, the boxes are getting really dusty, which they're outdoors anyway, of course they're gonna get dusty.
Mhm.
But the one that we have across from Shoes and Brews, it's red, it has a bunch of dogs on it.
Yeah.
It always gets really dusty, and
Oh,
maybe it's that
interesting.
corner, but then also the one that is across from the Larimer Humane Society on Nelson is always really dusty.
Oh.
So we're gonna try this one. I spoke to a muralist friend of mine who has switched over to this one and likes it much more.
Oh, good.
Cost is about the same, application is about the same. Painter said that he didn't have any problems with it. Of course, with these sealants, they do have like shelf life, so once you open them, you need to use it, you can't just cap it back on. So that's why he's doing the sealants in batches. So even if we do, Scott, if you're interested to look at the Pike and Corporate Center one, it will remain unsealed until the other two finish, because once we open another gallon, we need to seal.
Do you want me to check it?
If you were raising your hand, I thought you were, but.
Sure.
Or,
I'll check it.
or you're being voluntold.
No, I was raising my hand.
Thank you. He was just fixed right.
It was like, it was going. Yeah, anybody who wants to go check it out, and so I will send you pictures, and then you can just get back to me. The biggest thing is, of course, once it's approved, then the artist gets paid. So we want that to happen as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Great. That's the shock art business.
Oh, well, then the only thing you mentioned, that if anybody sees shock art boxes that really look like they've seen better days, I think there are a lot of them that are kind of going that way, so maybe let Angela know, so either they get decommissioned or whatever we call it, you know, or
Yeah.
maybe they can be resealed, or I don't know what
Repainted.
options there are, but if you see some,
I think we had
Holler.
mentioned it at the last meeting, either the last meeting or the one before, that we've kind of gotten to that point where some of them aren't our best work.
Yeah,
I've seen a
yeah.
few.
Okay.
Angela, you know how you talked about those couple, you gave a couple examples of ones that get really dusty?
Yes.
Is there any utility, or is it even possible to use the new sealant over, or will one sealant not go over another?
That is an excellent question. So Tim, who is our painter, is actually going to go and try a little bit on the back side. We actually identified a couple that have backsides that maybe are like closer up to a fence, where that's not super visible.
Yeah.
And that he's gonna do a little test when he does the next ones.
Oh, good.
And see what happens. Truth, I really don't know. Chemistry is weird and adhesion is weird. I don't think it would hurt. But what we don't want it to do is like start flaking or
Right.
create a situation where we're actually ruining, making
Yeah.
it worse. Yeah.
But we are gonna give it a test.
We're gonna give it a
See.
test on the backside and then just watch it for maybe a year or something like that and just see what happens.
Yeah.
The good thing about these commissions, of course, is that if we start thinking about the collection, right, and using those words accession and collection, this basically is artist work for hire. We hire the artist, they paint the mural's on the box, but at that point, like, that's the end of the project. If it has to come out or be done with, there's really nothing that we have to do because they belong to LPC and we need to change it. Nothing has to procedurally happen except that we've made the decision that it no longer looks good and we can move on from there. We also haven't made any promises to artists about how long their mural will be a part of the collection. So say we try it and we ruin a bunch of them. Wow, that would be sad, but we just move on with the program and continue on. And we've talked about this before too, is then we let the artist know, hey, this mural is no longer as part of our shock art collection, and invite them back to either bring a new design, even the old design, but they still have to go through the process again. We don't just rehire the artist to redo the work.
Right.
We would be setting ourselves up for a real issue. Good question, excellent question. yeah, so we'll play with it and find out.
Good.
Okay,
Okay,
good one.
history under wraps. Rick, are you gonna make a presentation?
They're done. They're installed.
I saw you.
They happened. They're real.
Yeah.
They're in the wild. I took photos of 7 of the 11 of them that I think Angela will share.
I will, and then I need to share my screen. Then.
I drove by one today, I was like, oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah, which one did you see?
The Central School teachers,
Oh, yeah.
the dancing ones.
Yeah,
They
that's
are
awesome.
what
Is that
they're
good?
doing. Yeah, it was really funny though because it's kind of light. And
Yeah.
so I was driving in the car and I
Right.
was like, whoa, when
Yeah. There are a couple that are kind of light. The one up on Long's Peak in Maine too is
That one's kinda
especially
light,
light.
too.
Yeah. But the photos.
Oh, that
were
looks
18,
great.
yeah.
Where's that
Yeah,
located?
This one is on Lashley and Mountain View.
Oh, I
I drove
gotta
by
go
the
see
train
that.
one and it took me a second. I was like, oh, look what train.
That
Oh,
one was
wow,
great.
The color
interesting.
one's really surprising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
The
is.
black and white one.
Cool.
The other one's too, a lot more sepia too.
It really is, yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
That's neat.
This one is. That one's actually Lashley and Ninth. The other one was Alpine and Mountain View with the bikes.
Oh, it's
Alpine.
Alpine and Mountain View. So then the last thing that obviously needs to happen here is the QR code, which we're gonna apply separately, and our logo in places that make sense. Like, that looks like that's where that one should go.
Yeah.
Previously, we had added the logo and the QR code, in fact, to the file and then printed it. And we learned the hard way that then some of the logo would like fold or bend in weird spots, and so we're gonna apply after.
That's great.
So cute.
Oh, love that.
That's the view I drove by.
Yeah.
Really wide.
That's so cute.
That's a good like description.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
the
sliding
sliding
doors
doors there, you know.
Right.
Physical space.
Yeah, that's down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
love it.
That's excellent.
Oh, that.
Mhm. When you see it from the corner.
Yeah,
looks
it
cool
looks
like
really
It
cool.
reads differently, but.
Gus would be proud.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything, no one has said a
I
doggone
still
thing
haven't
yet.
seen this.
but
Where is this one located?
That one
by
is
Protest
6th and
Rock.
Main across.
They-
Oh,
Yeah.
Protest Rock, okay.
They were finished on the 8th and 9th,
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday.
Oh,
It took
I
them
love
2
that.
days.
I still want a t-shirt.
I know,
Yeah.
okay, I need to talk to my boss.
You do. I'll bug him. He's right here.
That looks amazing.
I think we could sell them to get.
I think
agree.
you would
Yeah,
sell
I'd buy
everywhere.
one.
I would too.
Yeah, but, yeah,
Oh, I love that.
why not?
I went with the donkey, the horse, or whatever it is too.
Yeah, the whole thing, the whole
The whole
thing.
thing, not just
Yeah,
the
not
horse.
just the horse.
I
That's the one
wanted
we
the
had to
context.
worry about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. it
This
darkens
is so
quite a bit,
fantastic.
Yeah.
This,
But it,
Oh, that's neat.
And where did that one end up?
Long's Peak in Maine.
mhm,
Ah, that's-
What is it again?
Long's Peak in Maine.
on the northeast
Oh,
corner.
oh yeah, okay.
Oh, looks so cute.
Look at that more intentionally.
Oh, that's really neat how
Look
it's
at
got the
it.
windows
Yeah,
up
it's
on
hard
the
to see
top
when you're
though.
driving.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And then look, she's like,
Oh my goodness. I love it.
I like that part. What's going on down there?
No, you see them differently than when you see the image flat. I
Yeah.
agree.
Oh, I saw this one the other day.
Right here.
That's on the way here. you
Yeah.
I like that
Oh,
guy.
that's
all
perfect.
Oh,
business.
that's really neat. Look at the pipe.
Looking around the corner there.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
that's it, that's all we have photos of.
Aw.
Those
At
are
present.
excellent.
So the 9th and county line is the
You
weight
hike to that
limit.
one and try not to get hit by cars.
The ropers, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there room for more at some point? Or-
Oh, yeah, I
there's-
mean, as long
more?
as this group is agreeable to continue with this program. I mean, bang
Not
for
that we
your
have to
buck, you spent, after, labor and everything, about $1,000 for each of them, and longevity wise, you'll get every bit of 5 and probably 10 years out of it.
Wow.
So,
I love that we're getting to see images that you've never seen.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, awesome. And we've learned a lot. We've learned we need
So
to
much.
measure every single one of them, every single, because of the nature of bleeds. We needed to account for 10 inches, and it just so happened that the bleed covered it, but one of the boxes was 10 inches taller than all of the other ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but they were
Oddly, I
one.
kinda like the way it sits on there.
Yeah, it actually,
It
it actually
worked out.
fit really
Is
well.
that the one with the windows that we were looking at?
The
No.
one at Long Street,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
grocery.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
really like the way that looked.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yep, it works out great. Okay, so the next steps.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So we need volunteers who are interested in doing the tour voice recordings for the new History Under Wraps. So
You wanna hear
it's
how
your
yours-
opportunity for everyone to
If
pick
you want
stars.
If you want to. If
Yeah,
not,
let's hear it. What are
Sure,
we
yeah,
competing
let's
with? What do we
That's
have
what
to,
we do.
what bar
Just
do we have
read.
to?
Right, exactly. What are we serving to get this done?
Is the dialogue already written?
Yes,
So it just needs to
so,
be read?
correct, so
Okay.
it's in final review, then it will go to translation. Once we get the final review checked off, then Britt will work with LPM, because our comms team actually worked with them, LPM, Longmont Public Media, over at the Carnegie Building next to the library. Yep. Yep. And they did some work for the soiree, and so we'll just ask them if we can use their booth and get, stuff up. So it would be a volunteer if it works with your schedule. We have no idea what that will look like at this point, but.
And if
there's
you
11
do
of
it, do you
them.
have to do it in English and then Spanish and then Hungarian and Urdu?
Right, yes, exactly, yep. That's the plan.
Just English. All the better.
So if anybody wants to do Spanish translation,
No,
that's
not me.
No.
Susie.
I'm doing too.
Or we can, well, and we also have a workflow in the city to request somebody from the city, so it's no problem. It's
Oh,
just,
okay.
yeah. But the English piece, we just think it will be fun if.
Susie's
Yeah, so, sorry, I was
No,
trying
you're
to,
okay.
I'm trying to transfer, I'm back home now. So I was trying to transfer it to my laptop, so I'm gonna rejoin on my laptop. But yeah, I would be happy to do it in Spanish. I didn't know if you were extending volunteers beyond the commissioners.
Volunteer is volunteer in my
Yeah.
book, right?
Hear my squeaky voice, I'm like, yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Cool.
All right.
Love it.
With all that free time you have,
Right.
we'll work it in. We'll work it in. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm a Spanish speaker, but Susie, you're much better than I am. I have decent pronunciation, but I'm tier 1. You all know what that means with
Okay.
the city. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely do it if there's any like holes or something. And Longmont Public Media has a really cool studio. If you've ever like dreamt of podcasting, but it's in that really historic old building, and you kind of go down into the lower level, and then from there you could just put on some headphones and talk into a
The
microphone.
ghosts come out.
That
would be fun.
Children.
Probably. Right. Who is interested in English fun play time? Randy? Yin?
Sure.
Yeah?
I
Yep.
can-
Teresa? Awesome.
I'd do it. Sounds kind of fun.
Awesome.
Actually.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just listening to your own voice is always.
That's the part you just don't do.
I know.
Love you.
That's the worst always.
If you need more, I would do
Better
something.
than video,
Awesome.
though.
Kind of
True.
better.
I think you should most definitely try some Spanish for sure.
Yeah.
Super, thank you. I'm just gonna, she's moving in. She's switching over. I'm just gonna leave this share situation up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't ever think
Old dogs, new tricks.
Okay,
Okay,
moving right along.
artwork. Yay, so it sounds like we had 386 individuals come by the
Wow.
booth, the our public places booth.
Considering the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then consistently, I guess, 5 to 7 painters throughout the 4 hours.
Do you all think that that's about right?
Oh, yeah.
Seems about right, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna show pictures of the kids. And then, I guess, what, Iris, Susan, Rhonda, Michelle, Teresa, you guys were all there. You guys want to
Yeah.
talk about anything?
Talk about
Talk about it?
I was
what
on
did we
my,
learn?
I was on my way there and I texted Angela and she's like, "There's a big storm. I don't even know if you should come." I'm like, "I'm already here. I'm coming." And then it was kind of soggy for the first hour that I was volunteering, but it really picked up after that. It was so fun.
It is such a neat project.
Yeah. Did we get all 2 done?
The second one is nearly done. What would you say? Like maybe a quarter left.
Do you go around and touch up anything, or do you just leave it as is?
Oh, can we please?
I was gonna say, I'll help do that.
It needs a little help.
So we are gonna work with Susie and kiddos over at Countryside again.
On this one?
So I think based upon our experience from the last time that we
Yeah.
did that, there are always some kiddos that are interested, that are a little bit older and are more detail oriented, and maybe empowering those kiddos
Yeah.
to do some of the cleanup.
So older than
and-
we were working with then?
Yeah.
Some higher grades,
Mhm.
okay, yeah. I think that
And then
would
if
be-
they don't, then we'll just see how long Britt can handle it. But we'll, yes.
Depends on if you store them in our office. and I have to
Full-time
store
role.
them.
I know.
Yeah, I have nightmares.
Yes.
You need to allow it.
So, but do maybe, do go on your way out and around the corner and see the ones that we did last year.
Okay.
You still can see some of the numbers and you still can see the lines, and there's something really kind of I personally think that there's something kind of
Yeah.
endearing about that. That said, the numbers on these ones now, it's so mechanical versus last year was very much hand drawn blobs and numbers. But man, I should show you the video of the shop bot. It's fascinating. So, so we have about a quarter of the one left, and then we'll make another one. We have another panel, probably with even more bigger blobs, less.
Oh, so there are 3 panels.
There's 3 panels.
Okay.
One was done at Lanyon and is done. One was done here and is done.
And then
The third has a little bit left,
Okay.
and then we have the fourth. And the fourth will probably turn into a little bit more juvenile, bigger block,
Right.
less of these.
Details, yeah.
The kiddos just get, you remember, they get really passionate, and it's a race. And it's like,
And it's how much paint could you put
how
on the
much
brush?
paint you can possibly put on your brush. We learned a lot. So we'll slow them down, we'll give them tiny
This was
brushes.
very organized though, with the
Yeah.
color and the number, and it was very,
If it wasn't raining and we
Look how
weren't
serious boxes in
underneath
that
the,
picture.
so crowded underneath the tents, I think that is the piece, is just being able to spread out a little bit more. But we had plenty of room that we were allotted. It was just, tent space only goes so far. That's Britt's son. He's the new poster child of Paint by Numbers.
Oh, beautiful.
And his bestie, who is, where's that picture of his bestie? I already have it.
He was in the
Was he in the
that
last
first
one?
one with his hat on.
Yeah,
That has.
that,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
There he
That
is.
There he is.
Look how serious he
Very
is.
So cute. I like the colorful hat. You can pick them out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's smart. Lose them in a crowd.
Yeah, he does get
Yeah.
lost too, he likes to run. So,
Yeah, they do like to do that. That's why the hat gives you a little bit of your
Keep
movement.
the hat on.
Duct tape on.
For sure.
I would say adults even enjoyed it as much as kiddos. They
Oh my
really-
gosh, some
Yeah.
adults really.
Had a nice
Yeah,
mix
it was.
Yeah.
of folks.
I was on the adult recruiting mission for
Yes,
sure.
you were.
It's like, I gotta get more adults in it. Sometimes they said no, but also they loved it.
These two gals, they had just a
I was
blast.
just going to say that.
They
They
had
really
so much
enjoyed
fun.
it. They were so, you could just tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, they were just really good friends, so.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
some people said that festivals like aren't their jam, and that they were able just to kind of come and cathartically paint and hang out while other festival things were happening.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? I think that just is a testament to how these creative projects impact our community in ways that we don't even know and see. So
That one little girl, I thought she was gonna go live at the museum with all of you, just, she was so attached to that place.
this gentleman,
That's so
oh my
special.
gosh, he was so methodical.
He was,
Mhm.
but he was
Really
so
into it.
grateful. I think he was one that because there was a family group that picked him up afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think he was glad to not, and just be able to do something.
Yeah.
Yep. So now that we got this all figured out, yeah, we're cooking with gas now.
Yeah.
And everybody's excited about where it's going. People were asking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next steps, obviously finish the edges so we're all comfortable with how they look. And then after the curing time of the paint is sufficient for the sealant that I was advised to use from Hardware Store Guy. Hardware Store Guy makes outdoor furniture and wood, and so he gave me really good advice. I was like, they're gonna go out into the wild, and it's painted wood, and I had no idea what to use, and he was like, here's the stuff. So
I think we need to know this hardware guy.
Hardware Store Guy was very helpful. So, yeah, so we're gonna try, and we'll of course seal all of the edges on top and sides. I was comparing it to the Tony Ortega mural that we have downtown, similar kind of situation, right? And the one thing that we have on the Tony Ortega is we did, Jared built like a frame around all the sides, which is probably, of course, keeping the moisture out of
Yeah,
the plywood.
right.
Definitely.
So we might want to consider that, but we have the wood shop, it's not something that.
Can we talk him into
I
it,
can-
you think?
I can do it myself. He'll help me, but I can do it.
What is
Yeah,
the
I
paint
think
that
that'd
we
look more
use
finished.
then?
This is all exterior house paint. Yep,
Because I was
it's
gonna say,
acrylic.
it almost seems like, you know, like that paint you buy for kids that's in the
Mhm.
skirt things, and I'm like thinking, that's not gonna hold up really good.
It should.
Yeah,
It should
this-
hold up
yeah.
really well. And we also learned about the primer that we need to use so the shop bot can effectively mark on top. I used a primer. I used the wrong primer, and then Jared corrected me, so we fixed that. So now that we have a good primer that the marker will actually mark on, yeah, I think we're golden. How many years we're gonna get out of it, I simply just do not know. And when they look bad, then we'll take them down.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a couple years out of them. So.
You know, one suggestion for next time
Yes,
might
please.
be, if of course we know where it's gonna go, to have a photo of that location.
Uh-huh.
Because a lot of people asked but weren't familiar with Lanyon Park, and apparently I'm not really great at explaining what a backstop is. So to have a photo would have been really helpful. It's gonna go right here.
Well, we've written the SOP. I wrote the SOP last year of how to do this project.
Mhm.
And then we updated it this year. So I'll add that because we forgot pictures of what it looks like done last year. And
Ah.
people were asking, I was like, oh. So now we have the pictures, but yes, the location and like a map.
Yep, that's a
Okay.
great suggestion.
Yeah, I would
Good.
second.
So pictures of last projects, so they,
Last
even if you had the
projects.
last projects and said, here we did this. And we did
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think, well, with the weather, it had to be really simple just to keep everything dry. But for me, the highlight was how much of an outreach opportunity this is, because this really is like a flagship event super well attended. I mean, closing down that much of Main Street itself is very impressive. So I could see us also building this a little more around, do you know what AIPP is? Just having like some, maybe a little more signage, or like a maybe one takeaway.
Yeah.
To just kind of like, yes, here's the engaging activity to come make art with us, but then now let's teach you a little more about our mission and what we do.
Yeah. Okay.
You're gonna turn us all into booth babes, aren't
I
you?
know.
Right.
I have a lot.
It's your
of
mission. I can
experience
tell.
with this stuff, so I'm happy to provide more input because it just
Reel them in and sell them.
Yeah. Well, we had enough table space. We
Yeah.
even had more tables. It was just keeping everything
Oh,
under
of
the
course,
we
bloody.
yeah.
couldn't. Yeah.
There just wasn't enough room. And in fact, we even had the shock art maquettes, which usually is the thing that people will come over. They'll be like, oh, and then that's the entry point, or
Yeah.
one of the entry points into the AIPP conversation. And Britt and I agreed. We were like, we just can't even
No.
bring them out.
I trusted it.
So, yeah, but all very good. I got all that. So, photo of the location and a map, picture of the last projects, and then a paper takeaway for that engagement. Did I miss anything else? Yep, good, awesome. And the aprons are awesome.
I know.
Love those
So
aprons.
so fun.
Okay, cool.
You could sell those.
Yeah, I'll take
it.
it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Those are really nice.
What do they have on buy stuff when they go to things like this?
They're
The ones
just
that are expensive.
kind of stylish. They're dark blue and they look really nice,
I
and
painted-
they look like a show.
Oh.
They have some
Not
leather.
anything
Do they have leather
specific,
on
so
them?
that it, yeah, but it's
Where's
like
the leather?
It's like a
I could
logo
ask
of
our gift
whatever
shop
woman's name.
folks, I
I
don't-
don't think they're very expensive, but they're like,
They really look nice.
I
Yeah.
said
Okay.
first we
Yeah.
need to sell the horse
I
too.
think it's the museum logo.
As I said, I'm gonna talk to my boss.
I'm just giving some more plugs.
I know, we're just keep saying it. We're just gonna keep doing it.
I'd buy one.
Me
I know.
too.
Alright. Anything else with Art Walk? Last chance before you better get comfortable. Alright, good?
Right.
Alright, who's ready to, now that we've knocked off a lot of projects, I would say, Shock Art is pretty well done. History Under Wraps is done. Cool Stop. We're calling it Cool Stop. Yeah. Because what were we calling it?
Shady's bus
Shady bus stop. And Britt was like, you know what? That is not the way that we should be going. Shady Stops? No, it's okay. So we're not gonna call it Shady Stops anymore. So we put the call for artists out and just did our organic kind of marketing that we typically do and didn't get as many people, which I think we're seeing across the board with Art on the Move and some of these other things anyway.
Not as many people are.
We need to target people to get I don't know if they're not reading emails. Definitely social media only goes so far to convince somebody. So I told Susan Jackers this. I was like, I went and I found artists that did this kind of work and I sent them individual emails. I sent them like
Yeah.
and with the good always comes the bad, which is when you target somebody, then they automatically have that one-on-one conversation with you. You've established it. So just trying to make sure that the information that I was sharing with one was something that I'm sharing with everyone, because it is a procurement process and we want to make sure everyone has the same. And I did kind of open myself up for like a comment card, like criticism and constructive criticism or not. So, but we got plenty of applications in a relatively short amount of time, and there's a lot of viable. So we got 51 applications, and of the 51, I sliced 6 because they're not going to be what you need. They're muralists. It's not applicable. So there are 45 applications. Task force is Iris and Susan Jaggers. They're going to get that down to half for you, because at 3 minutes per application, that's 2.5 hours of time for Susan and for Iris. We're going to cut that and then half again. So come October 1st, I'm going to send you an email and say, okay, the time has come for you to spend your time getting in and doing the judging and jurying. You're all gonna go in, you're gonna score the 20 applications, and then at our October meeting, where I'm gonna shortlist it even further, and then we're gonna have a discussion to then narrow down to our finalists of 3. Those 3 people then will be paid a stipend to create a proposal to bring back to you. In your November meeting, we'll review said proposals. They may present, depends on how complicated they are. And then you'll decide on one, you'll vote on one and an alternate. Does everybody understand what we're doing?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about how we're gonna do what we're gonna do. So Susan and Iris are gonna narrow those down, then you're gonna get an email, and then you get to go through the handy dandy cafe portal, which everybody loves. And you may remember that the cafe portal, the worst part of the portal is logging in. Once you get logged in, it actually is pretty easy. So we're gonna do just a quick how-to. It's gonna be kind of quick. We're gonna do show and tell. If after this process you're like, I just really need more help, or I need to see it again, or I have other questions, don't worry. I've made a video tutorial that I'm also gonna send to you, so you can go back and review it.
It's very good.
Thank you.
Angela, I just tried it. I was just getting ahead of you.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a MFA code request that's part of the
That's
process.
part of it.
It's
Okay.
all part of it, because this portal wants to lock you up like Fort Knox. They do not want anybody else jurying on your behalf. So we're gonna go through all of that.
Okay.
Before I dive right in, does anybody have any questions like that? Okay. Yes.
What's the budget for this project?
$25,000, 15 of which is coming from a grant from Boulder County. Good question. The budget is $25,000 for fabrication and delivery and structural. We are bearing the cost of installation. This is a little probably a TMI situation, but when it comes to those grant dollars, it's really hard to get labor included under grant funding, so we cut that out. We're doing that ourselves. That's why the budget feels kind of a little low,
Right.
because we're not including that contractor labor portion of it. We're actually bearing that cost. Does that make sense?
How much was the carousel that we did on Macintosh? Wasn't that like?
60.
That seems really low for this. I mean, even if we're gonna cover another 15,000, say, for the pad or whatever it goes on and stuff.
Yep, there's no pad, there's no infrastructure.
Oh,
So
okay.
the 60,000 that project was infrastructure. They had to move sprinklers, fabrication, delivery, and installation.
Okay.
In this project, we are asking for fabrication and delivery.
And then-
Any sort of, all of the hardware for installing, all of the labor for installing is all us.
Okay,
So it's still under the
yeah.
project budget. The artist budget is 25.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because a lot of times they include all that stuff in it, so they're not having to do that.
So there are dollars in our annual budget in a different bucket, which is called the professional and contracted services. And then there's the line item for art purchasing. Those are 2 different lines.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
Does that answer your question? Good questions. All right. Any other things before we get going? Okay. Logging into Cafe. So each of you have received, hopefully, one of these papers. Danielle, Jennifer, I recognize that I did not send this to you, and I'm going to put it onto the screen, but then I'll email it over as well. So we're just going to follow along. On it has the link address to where you're going to go to log in. It has a place for you to put your username, which is going to be your first initial and a dot and your last name. This is not character specific, so capital A, little a won't matter, but the password sure does. So the password is cool2025. I know, very Terribly creative. And then aside from Susan and Iris, your start date is going to be October 1. You'll get 2 weeks-ish to get through 20 applications and a big bad email with all of this information, okay? Okay, so when we go to, sorry, I'll move you guys back over. Okay, so hopefully, if you would like to, fill in, so you can keep track of this, but also what you have received is going to be, let's see, I need more screens.
You need a bigger one.
I'm so used to, I'm so spoiled at my desk having multiple screens. Anyway, then you're also gonna have a scoring matrix. I give you the image on the right because I'm going to be sending this to you with your 20 numbers, and a place for you to handwrite notes and a place for you to handwrite your score, just because I'm a creature of habit of not living in the digital world, and I use up paper and pen all of the time. But you can manage, obviously, how you're scoring, however works best for you. This is the matrix by which how you are going to be scoring. So maybe let's talk about logging in first. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Everybody with me still?
Yep.
Okay, so if you go to this handy dandy link, or you just go to callforentry.org. If you just go to callforentry.org, why didn't it just take me to callforentry.org? Oh, bang. Okay, this is where you would land, and you're going to go to the login button. But the most important aspect of logging in, if you hover, it says artist or admin, or if you scroll, it gives you artist or admin. You are an administrator in this situation. So you go to the admin login, and here you are. So we're going to use Brit for a good example because it's going to show you what might happen to you if you haven't logged in a long time. So Brit is B Williams, and everybody's password is cool 2025. Don't log in as your neighbor. Log in as yourself. So then, if you have not been here for a while, this is where it's going to ask you, how do you want to set up your multi-factor authentication? There are 3 ways. Remind me later, not, no. No. Use an app. Please don't, because you will get a new phone and then your Microsoft authentication app will go into the distance and then it will be gone forever. And the one bad thing about this program is once your user information is lost, it is lost forever, and I cannot recover it for you without the one magic way. So just don't use that. Use an email. Use your email. And so this is what Susan was saying earlier. You click email, and it's going to say, okay, I emailed you the multi-factor authentication code, and I'm sending it to you. So at present, it should be sending. And sometimes it takes it a minute. Did it go?
Just waiting.
Just waiting. So then we wait for like a minute or so. And I know that this is going to be kind of a pain, but once you go through it and you get that multi-factor authentication code, the next time you log in, it says save this device. Just do that, and then this problem is solved. I promise you this is the worst part of it. Other things about this portal, it really doesn't work on your phone, like at all. And even tablets, probably not the best. You absolutely have to have pop-ups enabled on your computer, or this is also not going to work. past that, those, I promise you, are the biggest problems, except for loving all the art and not doing things. But I'm gonna help you with that. Yet? Still?
Yes, got it.
Okay.
556.
556. Oh, nope. 556.
463.
463. So then, okay. So if you haven't done this in a while, this is the singular magic way that I could possibly ever recover you. Once you get this, like take a screenshot, just email.
Memorize it.
Memorize
Lock it in there.
this 5,000 digit number. Just email it to me, so then I can take care of it for you. And in fact,
Can you email that to me?
yeah,
please?
I was like, uh-oh, as I say this. B494F1.
Take a picture, maybe.
I know. Oh yeah, you're smart. Look at you.
Too many numbers.
Use
Too
the
many
devices,
numbers.
Angela. Use the device.
Library land, people mess up long strings of numbers.
That is so bananas.
Is that just the first time? Because
This is just the
because
first
that
time.
didn't happen to me.
Because
I've
you're
done it
pretty
before. Okay.
looped in, rocked in.
Okay.
But I want to go through this just because chances are there's a couple of you that this is gonna happen, and
There's
you're gonna be
even-
like, what the actual?
Apparently, I've been deactivated.
Oh, well, you're not activated because you're not gonna be activated until October 1.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. Okay, so then once this magic has happened, we're gonna go back, and here we are again, and we're going to now say Brit, and we're gonna say cool 2025, and there should have been, then the second time you do it, you'll stick that authentication code in, which it's gonna send you again, and this is where you're gonna be like, please remember me so we don't have to do this. After you have done this, we're gonna be good, okay? I promise you.
The big long recovery code is just if like you forgot your password, like it's only if something goes wrong, basically,
Correct.
is also what Angela's saying, whereas the MFA multi-factor authentication, you're gonna just keep seeing that more and more because of security, because it just prevents somebody from hacking your account, so just think of it like that and get
Yep.
used to it.
Yeah, the recovery code I already have like 1 million jurors, and I would have to just delete them all together. So, and I can't reuse names, which is weird. So it just is a real pain. Okay, hit me.
701
281,
281.
and then remember this device and problem solved.
So
Okay.
if you want to sneak in, you can sneak into this room,
Exactly.
log into this
As
computer,
Brit.
and then you know.
There you go.
Right, exactly.
Set off all the alarms coming into the civic
Uh-huh.
center.
Yeah.
So then,
But you can't get into cafe.
that's right.
Right.
So then, okay, so once you're in, you're a juror, you go to jury, you're only going to have this portal possible, and it's going to say, I'm sorry guys, I just need to minimize you. Can you watch our friends? Okay. Jennifer, Danielle, Susie, if you have questions, just wave at Britt, okay? Okay, sorry. Oh, and I'm talking. No, I'm talking. So, to start your jurying process, you're gonna need to pull up the applications. Each application is a single artist who is providing you lots of images to demonstrate their skill set. This is where we're gonna take a quick little break and pop back over to the document I gave you of how you're gonna judge things. It's a scoring matrix. You're basically going to give each of these applications, artists, a score. And how you're gonna do that is by answering these fairly simple questions. The first one for a single point is, when you look at all the artwork that's presented, the artist is providing ample examples that demonstrate their experience as a sculptor of outdoor public art, and they get a point, yes or no, right? So a point for a yes, 0 points as a no. This is obviously a little bit different for you two,
Yeah.
right? Because we've already discussed this, okay. Then, the elements of sculpture being color, texture, line, shape, space, form, right? Did this person put this sculpture in a place that makes sense? Does it look like it belongs there? If it doesn't look like it belongs there, is it a good thing that it looks like weird and it's jarring the space? But whatever it is, it's very visually appealing. If it's the whole, and again, the artist and all of the artworks in there, if like some of them are and some of them are not, you're gonna have to make a decision. Is this a yes or a no? And I'm really trying to make this like very black and white for you so we can get to the meat. If it's very visually appealing and the elements of sculpture are very present, that's absolutely a yes. If you're teetering on it, maybe it's a no in this situation. But then you say, well, the look and feel of the example of the sculptures presented, they're strong examples that are reflecting relatable materials that could be used for a bus shelter. If somebody comes to you and has awesome work, and it is using the elements of sculpture, and they are all bronze, and they are all figurative, that may be an awesome artist. And it may be an awesome artist that presented plenty of outdoor examples of their work. But as related to this project, this is not the artist you are looking for, right? Now, they may have some bronze, but then they also have some steel cut or, laser cut aluminum. And you're like, oh, okay, well, this artist is varied. You're not judging this artist then on the fact that they do some bronze. But what about those steel pieces? What about the aluminum? What about the work that is applicable to this project? Look at those. It's possible that not all artists work simply in one kind of media. They're a sculptor, but they do lots of things. They may do mosaics and they may do stonework, but we're really, really trying to hone in on the strength of the materials and the work that's related to this specific project. You're not hurting anybody's feelings. As artists, we love artists, absolutely 100%. It's okay if you're like, but I love this work and I want to give them a point. Like, no. If it's not relatable, it's okay. It's okay that they're not a perfect fit for this one. Okay. And then you're going to say, I feel confident that this artist has the skill set. Does it look janky? Does it look dangerous? Does it look like it's going to fall over? Like, it may be super cool, but like, do you have questions about it? And when you look at it, do you say, I'm confident in this person, right? Don't worry, I'm still gonna check their references, but these are some of the things that will help you narrow down. And then, just for funzos, I threw on a scale of 1 to 3, 3 being high and 1 being low. Are you excited about what this artist would propose for us?
Gut check.
Yep. Right?
Sorry, I said that's a good gut check. It's kind of like, yeah. You're
'Cause,
seeing
like,
if it's a good fit.
it's a
That's
good
like
fit.
Angela's saying. It's like,
Yep.
yeah.
And so then all of this adds up to 7 whole points. And when you get into the portal, it is going to give you a 1 to 7. Now, the law of averages. Man, if you give everything a 5 at the end of the day, your vote is not going to go very far in this process, right? Like, if you can't, the gut check is a great way of looking at it. Some of these are going to be stronger for this specific project. And that is the point, right? We are trying to narrow your 20 down to about 6 or 7 to really talk about. And also, they don't need to all be the same. Like, sometimes in these projects we end up with 3 very homogenous, and it's like, oh, it's the better of the evils or the better of the goods. Maybe we want to see what 3 different artists are going to bring to the table. So if one of them is really good because of they all need to consider shade, right, in the final project. But the projects that they're presenting right now probably don't have anything to do with shade. And probably, not everybody's just like, I'm a bus shelter artist. That's all I do. Like, that's not what we're looking for either. We're looking at someone who is a sculptor and we're giving them a bus shelter and they're able to create something that is also utilitarian. And shade is the number one thing. Dappled light, fine. Color, fantastic. Does it reflect something? Wonderful. But if we're looking at all of them that are creating great dappled light, well, maybe we want one that does dappled light one that does color, and one that does, I don't know, looks like a circus or something, you know, what I'm trying to say. So this is the way that you're scoring. Does this make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Quick question.
Yes?
How many of these cool stops are we going to?
One.
One.
We're kind of piloting it and
Okay,
seeing
sorry, I
where it
couldn't
goes.
remember.
No, that's a great question. Other communities have done series, but if you were to do a series, like you're looking at 6 figures, you know, and that's also the part with the budget is we've got some grant funds. If it looks like something that our community is interested in and we can continue to justify or get grant funds, then maybe we could make it like a whole, you know, route, the whole thing. But we gotta start somewhere.
Okay, sorry.
No, great question. No, don't say sorry. Good questions. Anybody else online? We're good? Thumbs up? Good. Okay. On we go. And Rhonda, you were the last person who was in one of my kind of tutorials and said show not tell. So I'm trying. We're keeping. All right. So here's you're gonna jump right in. Again, if you spent 3 minutes for each of these, you know, it's gonna take you a little bit of an hour. You are really just looking visually. There's nothing to read on this one, unlike some of the others. So there's a couple ways of doing it. You know, you want to carve out time. You want to make sure that how you are judging one, you are judging them all and all the same. If you have an extra question that you're putting in your mind to help your lens into this, it's fine, as long as you're applying it to every single one and all the same. Okay. So if you decide that the slideshow scorecard is the way that you're going to view them and then you're going to judge them, then do that with every single one. It's the one that I suggest. So you hit your slideshow scorecard, unscored, the ones you haven't done yet, total, the total, and then once you start scoring them, these start moving over. At any given time, you can click on them. The other thing is, that's that pop-up situation, right? Here, when you scroll down, are going to be all of the unscored, because that's what I clicked on. And ultimately, they'll start filling in, and you can also filter by clicking them, you know, up and down. So if you wanted to see all the ones you have 7s, all the ones you have 1s, this tab here is gonna help with that, okay?
That's super helpful.
It is. They are also going to be in the same order for each of you, and without giving you the artist name, unfortunately, this ID of Doom is like the only way of organizing it. So I will give you, in a Excel spreadsheet, one of these like actual score, whatever you want to call it, like template or whatever, just so you know which one is in order. If that makes sense. Okay, so we're just gonna go through this exercise. You're gonna score in your head using your own matrix. You know, everybody has different opinions and art is subjective. So after you have, I hit it, now I hit it. There it is, okay. So you hit slideshow scorecard, and here are the images that they are gonna pop up. If you hover on the little eye that's in the middle, it's going to tell you a little bit about this work, only what the artist decided to provide. Steel and powder coat. It's 40 inches by 44 inches by 4 inches. Obviously that is one of these, not all of these, right? Sometimes they'll tell you how much it cost, which is really interesting, because then if you look at the year completed, like the cost of steel in 2020 is going to be very different than the cost of steel in 2025, right? So you just keeping that in the back of your mind about what you're going to get for your budget, right?
And I'm just going to say that when I went through this process, when I was on the selection committee for a different piece of public art, I really liked that little information piece. It was super helpful, and I always hit that little information piece because, because like you were saying, Angela, like some artists, they didn't really put that much information in there, and so I don't know. I really liked doing that, so I would encourage people
Yep.
to use that.
And if you decide to do that, like, and you might want to choose, well, I'm going to do the information on things that I like, that it might be that gut check, right?
Yeah,
And you're like,
exactly.
okay, I'm going to investigate the ones that give me a gut check.
Right.
Like this, let's say, okay, colorful, yeah, in the round, look, dappled light. Could I imagine maybe something like that, like a bus stop? Okay, how much does that cost? Or what size is that? Or, you know, what's that made out of? If you start adding the reading through these things, that 3 minutes per application is just totally changed, right? So just keep that in mind. Another bit, you can say, do 10 of these, score them, and then come back later. You do not have to do this all in one sitting. So there's that. So you go through the images that were provided, take a little look at them, ask yourselves the questions, right? Here's a good example of, okay, I work in different media. Lots of different media. And then this comes up, which is your score situation. At this point, you put in your number. The comments and feedback is for you and you alone. Won't share with anybody else. So if you're like, I think I like this, but I still need to see more. If you don't want to score it and you just want to keep looking, that's completely fine. You push save my score, whether or not you do score. Oh, but you have to push save my score. Click the number, save my score. If you don't, you haven't scored it. Does that make sense? And then you go on to the next. And same process for all of them. Like, okay, sorry. If it has fire,
Yes.
tell you right now, y'all.
You can't have that on the top of the bus shade.
I know.
It's supposed to be cool.
Because it wasn't, because
Yeah.
if it wasn't hot enough, let's make it hotter.
Yeah, propane tanks in the wild. Fantastic. That's a Burning Man
Burning Man,
situation.
Burning Man. It does say have a Burning Man.
So then it's gonna come up with this. Sometimes in other projects, we will ask for artist statement, and that would be when you click to view form answers, and some of that would be here. This is a question that I asked everyone, because if they answer no, they're immediately out. Like, are you experienced in this work? And can I call your references? But other than that, I've hit everything. So then you save, just for the example, I'm gonna save this one, save my score. Then when you're like, okay, I'm done for today, you get out of your pop-up, well, there's the one that I scored, here's the ones that I have left, and here's the total. And so if you wanted to see, oh, what have I scored?
And you can change that score, right?
Mhm.
Yes, you can.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're like, ooh, I'm not sure about that. So here's where, if you're like, ooh, I need to have a lot, I think, of 7s, and I'm just not sure about that anymore. Another way you can do it, since you've already gone through and you've looked at all the slideshows and you're like, okay, I'm ready to review, you could choose thumbnail scorecard, which just gives you this.
Oh,
And if you decide from the very get-go, I just want to use the thumbnail scorecard rather than do this preview business, and you just want to do the thumbnail, and then you yourself want to click them open, and then it's going to send you back. And then I'm like, oh, you know what, I was wrong, that one is not, it's actually this. You can do that. You can erase the score and just move on. And then it's moved it back. And at any time, you're like, I need to see the whole bloody lot, then, and it won't let you just click on this without having a scorecard selected. Sorry, that's just not how that works. And then obviously when you have scores, it's just gonna save for each one. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Preview slideshow is going to show you every single image without stopping. Not helpful, because you're looking at one application, which equals one artist at a time.
If you are, like when you click on unscored, it just
Mhm.
brings you up the first artist.
Mhm.
If you want to just kind of skip that one and think on it,
Mhm.
how do you get to the next artist?
That's a good question. So right now I'm at number 1. I can go to number 2 and just push go.
Okay.
Yep, of the 45. Or even if you don't score it and you just want to move on, you can just save my score and it's going to send you to the next one.
Cool.
So yeah, that's a good question. So say, let's go back. This is just a personal preference, I much prefer the slideshow scorecard because I'm going to open up the images big anyway.
Mhm.
Those thumbnails just don't help me. So I look at all the images, I get to this place, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just not ready to score this one, and I'm just gonna move on to the next one. So maybe you wanna go through and just weed some out. And you're like, those are the ones that I really don't, you score low, score the ones low, and then go back again. It's completely fine. Yep. Method to your madness, but yeah, however you choose to do it.
I like those videos,
Right?
Yeah, region.
Not really for cool stuff,
I
but
know.
they're so cool.
Well, we can send an individual note, oh yeah, and say, you know what, this is not, like this person painted this bus stop, this obviously not fabricated, right? But let's see what they say. Exterior paint on concrete and steel confirms, right? Like they didn't fabricate that, that's a painting. Okay. And then go through, I guess I didn't take all the mural artists.
But they had 3D stuff too, so.
Yeah. Yep. That looks gallery piece. 3 by 8 by 3.
Oh, that's
But to you, you're saying you kind of assume that bus stop was pre-existing,
Mhm.
and they
Yeah,
came in
they
and said,
did.
"I'll put some paint on that," and that's
Yeah.
not what we need.
Right.
That's not what we need.
Oh.
This is not the artist. Right? Okay. How was that for training this time around? Better, right? Get better. All right. So, like I said, shortlist will be coming from you, from our
You're sorry
I know, you get really excited. I don't want you guys to get so excited.
Before you exit, would you remind?
I'm like, show us more.
Remind me if we can see the original call for entry.
Oh,
Because I do like seeing like, hey, this is what was put out to the
That's
artists.
a really good idea.
Yeah,
Let's just
Yeah,
see if
I
they
love
fit
that
within
idea.
that matrix.
so I
Yeah.
will send you this packet, which I know but it gives you my screenshots of the one at a time just to, help you, just in case you're like, oh, bloody heck. And I'll send you my video, and I will send the original call for entry.
Great.
Excellent.
Good.
That's helpful.
Good. What other questions?
I wish I would have waited and done it after we did
You
this.
can. I can either reset you, or you can just go back in and change however you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not
Nope.
written in, okay, it's done. Okay.
Don't you have a time where you close it? I think for some reason I remember that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
once Iris and Susan have it narrowed down for you, let me open my calendar so I'm not lying to you. I'm gonna open it on October 1st, that's a Wednesday, and I'm going to give you until Sunday, the 12th, in the evening, so then Monday morning I can open the portal and see what questions I have. And
Right, and then once you do that, we can't go back in and change or.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
But I figure that 12 days should be
Oh, yeah, for sure.
plenty of time, and that's 2 weekends, so
And you want us to get it down to 20?
I just need you guys to score the way that I
Score,
told
and then
you.
you're-
Stay out of the middle.
Yeah.
Stay out of the middle.
Stay out of the middle.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think
follow
that's
the
Already
direct-
done.
This one has a gut check that you guys don't have. Your directive is different, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't really be thinking like this.
Look back at the email that I sent you.
Okay.
It's a little bit different, right?
Okay. I will.
Okay. Any other questions? What? Come on. All right. Really? Hey, any Zoomy questions? Nope. What?
You crushed it, Angela.
Woo! So good.
Wow.
You guys haven't even seen the video yet.
Looking forward trip to over myself. 12 minutes of Angela talking to herself is awesome.
Very professional.
Hey, well. All right. If that's it, then Susie's up.
Okay. There isn't much other than budget right now. So unless anyone has questions around the budget, it's pretty lean this go around. The last couple of years, it's actually been that way. You know, a lot of our concerns on, you know, a few of us on council have expressed to Harold the concern around federal funding, the housing, you know, around housing, LHA, HUD, and, you know, just having those accessibilities to these funds. There's not a lot of assurance that we're gonna get money from the federal government, and with some of the way the contracts are being written, I don't even know if we wanna pursue them at this time, because there's a risk of putting residents and vulnerable classes of individuals in, you know, just not being able to support them where we need to. So, you know, we're being kind of cautious around that piece. Currently, we're just seeing those level 1 fundings that are just the basic, what's keeping the lights on, what are the must-haves at this time. So not a lot of extra this time around. And it was the same last year. So just really being mindful of that, keeping our reserves where they need to be in the event that, you know, something catastrophic, like another flood. Hopefully that never happens again. But yeah, just trying to be mindful and cognizant of those. So I don't know if anyone has questions for me.
I do.
Yes?
Because I read in the paper that Sandstone CIP, do we know if that project is that happening and fully funded?
I thought it was partially funded,
Okay.
but I can look at the.
I can ask the Parks Department. I was just curious if you knew.
Okay.
The Sandstone Park project will be I think like $11 million. So that'll
Yeah.
probably be a big one. That just from an art and public places standpoint.
Okay,
that's
yeah,
gonna be
I'm
coming.
looking at it. It looks like it's under the funded projects. Sandstone Ranch and Community Park.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes. So let me go to that. You know, so as we're going, you know, I was reviewing that CIP. It's a 315-page document of all the, yeah.
So give us the details.
Yeah. Summarize.
I just wrote a synopsis of it.
I know.
And, you know, in every meeting, we have a section of people come in.
Yeah.
So last time, not this past week, the week before, we had, I think the museum was there. Public safety, you know, we look at different departments. And then this last one that came in, it was our utilities, next light. My mind is drawing up right now. But, you know, we had different folks, our water, electric, sewage, storm drain.
Yep.
So looking at those, so each week we get a different section of people coming up and talking about, you know, specific sections. I think next week we're supposed to hear from the airport. Yeah, so then we get those more detailed directions.
Awesome.
But it looked like Sandstone and Community Park is under the funded.
Awesome.
Awesome, okay.
Yep, that's great. Any questions for Susie?
I guess you're up.
Okay, thank you, Susie. All right, me. Let's see. Oh, September. September is so event heavy. We did a lot of boots on the ground stuff. So, point out to Britt, has been schlepping and cleaning and moving stuff and we just, I think Tuesday, it was all morning. It was like 3 or 4 hours, and we cleaned the van because our friends are gonna take it for Day of the Dead, of course, and so we kind of made it messy, so we cleaned it really good and mopped it and everything. So thank you for working so hard. I know that sometimes the moving stuff isn't so much fun. Sunset Soiree, thank you for everyone who came and participated. I thought it was a really good time.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was lots of fun, so thank you for that.
And the museum got a lot of money.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
That's
All
cool.
right.
Yay.
I love
Yes.
that.
What was the goal?
$150,000.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
So those dollars are for exhibition development, which you can have a building and you can have galleries unless you develop exhibitions, which is great. So I know that everyone is extremely grateful. Thank you. Van Gogh, we have renderings, we have images, or we do not have renderings. We have images. They're creating the renderings, and then I'm going to send them to comms. I was hoping that I was going to have them for this, and I'm sorry. So instead, I'm going to email it to you so we can keep this moving along. I am going to go to comms first, just to get any of their questions, answers out of the way, and then also where the logo will go. Eric will give us a thumbs up of what that should look like before it comes to you as well. So that is positive. I think that that's positive. Maintenance, a lot of you have been doing maintenance reports. Thank you very much. It's great getting out and doing a seasonal check. Getting the fall before we go into the winter is fantastic. A lot of new graffiti, which thank you for pointing that out. And we got it cleaned up.
2 pieces with graffiti.
But we got cleaned up right away. And so one of them was spray paint on concrete, which luckily came up great. Why they tagged Dawson Silverwood of all of them? It's so frustrating, but it turned out great.
How did they get it off the metal piece? Does that have a coating on it too, and then they?
The Core 10 does not have, or weathering steel does not have a sealant on it, but it was a paint marker.
Oh, so.
And so he tested it, and then it just lifted off.
Oh, nice.
We use a product called Crud Cutter with K's. It's a Benjamin Moore product, and it seems to work really well. The worry that I had about the paint marker on the Core 10 is sometimes when you take that off, it leaves, like, if you will, shadow, or it leaves residual that's kind of down into the material, but it lifted just fine. So we have a really great graffiti guy right now. He talks to me first before just attacking artwork, and unlike the way you attack other graffiti in town where you just blast it with hot and chemicals and stuff, he doesn't do that on the art, which is awesome. So
Nice.
we're in a really good place with our graffiti, with our just working relationship, which is great, because then that just means less staff.
What about the Longmont mural that I noticed there was graffiti, I noted.
Oh, I didn't see that one, but I will.
Yeah,
Go
right
back and look
downtown
at
on
it.
Main Street, right?
No, the one by Kanemoto Park,
Okay.
under the underpass.
I'll go
That
check
we
it out.
did with Front Range mural class.
I went by the Serpent yesterday, and it looks really nice. The
Awesome.
part of Nature's Way.
Yeah.
It looks good.
With the mosaics.
They did a good job, but they're not done yet, which is, I think I'm a little concerned about that their process. I can't confirm this without talking to them, obviously, but I don't think that tag lifted off of that stucco, so I think they're gonna have to go back in and treat it a different way, because they're not done, and it's been over a month, so. But yeah, the mosaic piece looks.
Yeah, it looks really good. Are you talking about the one that's wrapped in the burlap right now?
Mhm.
Is that the one?
Yeah. We applied the burlap just to try and
Right, to hold
dissuade
it, yeah.
people from keep going on it. And our graffiti, speaking of, went and tried. He went and tried, I went and tried, and I just can't get it out.
Mhm.
It's blue. The tag is like this bright. It's bad. So, Longmont mural, I will go check that out. Thank you. So graffiti, that's the whole thing. Collier Park. Kids climb on the sculpture at Collier Park. We have, please do not climb on the sculpture labels. Britt created a very nice, did you create that logo, the kid climbing?
I did
Maybe
not
Brack
take
did.
credit for it.
Anyway, we got a like stick figure that's like climbing. It's no. So there's a visual, there's English, there's Spanish. They keep popping off of the wood that is surrounding that. So some of our friends at the Parks Department, we started the conversation about the turf reclaiming potentially around that sculpture and revisiting what maybe a planting would look like, because it is sitting in turf and turf needs water to be green. So it might be one of those spaces that we address. Got our wires a little crossed, and Parks started entering into what that would look like right up against the sculpture, and we just know that we need to do the community outreach, make sure that we are roping in any stakeholders, any of the neighbors who are interested in having a conversation related to that. But ultimately, and at the end of the day, it is art in public places plus parks, because they're the ones that maintain it, to determine what that footprint around the sculpture will look like. So just know that it will be coming back to you. It will be layered, addressing all the things, the labels that we are working on that are accessible to all kinds of people, but also to start working on getting that digital twin in the world of, we have the piece in place, but also if you wanted to find it on a map, or we could do a trifold and have a printout or something like that, but that there's representation of where to find things of our collection online. And so we're refining all of this specifically through the labels. So those labels look different and they're new. And Collier Park is like one of our first that has this, and that's the direction we're going. So just know that more is going to come that way. We'll probably have to have a task force similarly to the Heart and Hand landscaping, and we're going to work really closely with our parks friends, and we're going to work closely with our community and our neighbors. But hey guys, kids climb on the sculpture, just so you know. And we have do not climb signs, and we're doing our part. So just so you know. And then lastly, Day of the Dead. Oh, does anybody have any questions?
Perfect.
Okay. And then Day of the Dead is October 11th. So if you like Art Walk and you're down for like way more fun, the museum, of course, is the responsible party for the Day of the Dead celebration. So that's a Saturday. It's pretty much all day. I don't remember.
It's 11 to 3.
11 to 3. Okay.
And where is it? At the?
It is Kimbark Street, so.
In Fourth?
Yeah.
4th and Kimbark.
Okay.
Fourth and
Oh, like the Fourth, okay.
Yep. They're moving it from the west because of the Kaufman project to the
Okay.
east. But super cool. So, and that is all I have, unless anybody has any questions. Dude, just setting them up and knocking them down today. All right.
Any commissioner comments about anything
Anything?
else? Okay. Cool.
Anybody online? Anything?
No.
All good? All right.
There's the baby.
Aww.
There she is.
Oh, I have one question, because
Yes.
I looked at Heart to Hand, that was
Yes.
one of mine, and there really isn't landscaping around it.
Not yet.
Okay,
Wait
okay,
till you
gotcha.
see what
Good question. Do you want to look real quick?
Well,
Oh, cute.
I have, I sent you photos, yeah.
No, it's-
But no, I mean, if it's coming, I think I remember now that you said it was coming, so.
Well, they haven't started anything over there, like the park or anything that they're redoing.
No, I think, so in construction land, it's called 90%, which is
Yeah.
basically that all of the different parts and pieces in the design portion are nailing down all all of the requirements.
Okay, including our landscaping.
Including our landscaping, what the drip line's going to be, what the fixtures are gonna be. And so that's where the subcommittee, of course, decided and blessed the landscaping and the plant plan. And as I understand, I haven't heard anything from anyone else. Good, the no news is good news is not an awesome philosophy, but that's kind of where we're at. So it sounds from the silence, I think that senior center is fine. I know that parks is fine. And then we submitted, of course, our suggestion for low plants. And I did look at the sprinkler or the watering, and it looks good. It's
It
not gonna
really
be
is
on the
on a
hardest.
little hill.
It is staying
I
on a
was
berm,
by it
yeah.
The other day, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
Anybody else?
Good question.
So, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
That's funded now, but they're doing
Wanna go
it there.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Teresa.
I second, oh,
Whomever.
right.
7:26.
I was seconded.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 and a 9, 11 and a 0 and a 0. And
Did you
that.
get a majority of people?
The motion passes. We are adjourned.
All right, thank you.